Hey guys, this is episode 13 of the Whips Nation podcast. We're going to be talking about what we've been up to since the last episode. We're going to recap the PLL Draft, go over all the Whipsnakes picks. We're going to hear some pretty bad takes from one of our guests today. And then we're going to do a tier list for every single PLL jersey ever. So, some of these picks you're going to love, some of them you're going to hate. I'm going to get dragged on Twitter, but that's okay. And then we're going to end off with giving our official prediction for the week 1 matchup for Whips vs. Chaos. So let's dive in. What's going on, fellas? We're back.
We're back. It's official.
It is official. I asked Max before the podcast started what episode we were on because I had forgot. So it is what it
13.
is. We're
13.
on it. Yep,
Let's go.
This is episode 13. So we have a new guest on this podcast who's should be no stranger to those in the PLL and Whips Nation discords. But Leo Lickfold, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us why you like the Whipsnakes?
Yeah, for sure. So I just recently graduated college. I'm a Minnesota guy. I will mention that about 1,000 times every time I'm on. So you get used to that. But yeah, I'm a Whipsnakes fan because of Matt Rambo. I like to say I'm the biggest Matt Rambo fan. I have 5 jerseys of his. And I'm constantly replying to his tweets for no reason. But yeah, since I think 2015, 2016, when he was in Maryland, I was like, this kid is insane. And ever since then, he's just been my favorite player, and I'm a Whips fan because of him.
Okay,
The
awesome.
jersey on, of course.
So, Matt Rambo fanboy. He's also famous for having the worst takes of all time, and we'll kind of get to that later. We're going to introduce a new segment. Leo, we're going to introduce...
they're the worst.
They're the worst. We're going to introduce a new segment on the pod called A Tale of Two Takes, where Leo gives us a take on anything. Max and I have no idea what he's going to say, and we'll correct his take with the right one, and then we'll kind of go from there. So first thing I want to kind of talk about is what we've been all doing since the last episode, and maybe why there's been such a break. I started a new job, and Max and I coach a high school team here in Phoenix that, we just had the main season in the spring, so super busy with that. I'm starting to get back to the gym again, which is great. My afternoons are free. For the first week, I was like, okay, what do? I have like 3 hours of extra time. I don't know, Max, if that's similar to you, but...
Accurate, yeah.
Yeah. And then the weekends, I've just been watching a ton of college lacrosse. So watching Maryland just, shit kick everybody. So
Bulldoze the league. But I mean, I'm excited for the Virginia game. So today's May 22nd for those who are maybe watching on a later date. And so it's
I have no idea when I'm going to be able to edit all this. So
yeah, second day of the quarterfinals. So I've got Delaware Cornell going on in the background, and Maryland Virginia's coming up after. So by the time anybody sees this, we'll know what happens with that game. But I really think Virginia, they were banged up the first time they played Maryland, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I think Virginia's probably the only team that has a shot against Maryland. I'm not sure every other team. I thought Rutgers did they played a pretty good game against Maryland early in the season, but for my money, Tillman and Lars Tiffany are the 2 best coaches in college lacrosse, and if anybody's going to beat Tillman in this season, it's probably going to be Lars Tiffany. I just don't know if any other coach has the cards up their sleeve to make it happen. So Virginia's. I'm looking for that game's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think, that game could, potentially be, a championship-esque matchup. It's a rematch from last year. I see Maryland just absolutely dominating in that game, but just like what happened the first time that they played this season. But hey, it is what it is. I think having an all Big Ten championship with Maryland and Rutgers would absolutely send Nick Ocello off a cliff. So I'm totally here for that. So yeah, that's my take on that. But anyway, so Max, what's been up with you since the last episode?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing was probably hopping into coaching high school lacrosse. I'd been away from coaching high school for a couple of years because I'd just been coaching club lacrosse. I moved from Oregon to Arizona and right in the middle of COVID, and so I haven't been really anxious to join a high school team, but Alex kind of asked me to come and join. So I joined about halfway through the season. I think I was with the program for about 7 weeks and had a really good time. Like, it's a fun group of kids and there's a lot of talent. It's an athletic group, and kind of looking forward to seeing what we are capable of next season, because I think we're returning. I think about 70% of the team are sophomores. Definitely a couple seniors we're going to be missing, but I think the rising juniors and the rising seniors are about just as talented and athletic as any team in the state. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. In the state, but this is a team that I think has a lot of high potential. So I'm ending the high school season and now kind of transitioning into coaching club again. I coach the rising 8th graders for Team 48 out here in Arizona. It's a good group of kids. It's a lot of fun. So we just had we did our overnight camp on Friday night, and it was Friday evening and all day Saturday. And I was telling Alex before we started, my step tracker had me at about 21,000 steps by 8:30 at night. So I was pretty gassed. Like, I came home, I showered, and I went straight to sleep. Like, I just hit the bed and I was out as soon as my head hit the pillow.
Dude, I was getting jealous of those pictures, dude. Those kids look like they had a lot of fun. I know Coach Landon at Arizona Christian hosted the camp, and I saw clips of those guys in the pool. They were doing like a campus scavenger hunt. Yeah,
it was a photo scavenger hunt. It was really cool. They had to like salute a coach, and they had to get a picture of somebody dunking, and like there were all these different. They had to like spell things. Like, everybody had to contort their bodies on the ground and spell stuff. So it was like, and they mixed the teams up. So it was anywhere from like 10 and 11-year-olds are with the juniors from high school, and so everybody was kind of combined, and it was cool. It's like it was a really good like team building stuff. Like, everybody had a lot of fun. Like, none of it was forced. It was all it was all good. But I'm sure we did a practice Friday and 2 practices on Saturday. It's about 95 degrees here, so everybody was pretty gassed by the end of it.
That's awesome. I kind of want to dive into quickly the PLL Draft. We didn't really get to give our opinions on that, so
we
talked
about it a little bit, but
like, I'll go over the first round and then we'll just talk, obviously the Whipsnakes. But yeah, pick one of the first round. Logan Wisnauskas, we weren't able to draft him because he was picked literally first overall, which kind of shocked me. I don't know, Max, Leo, were you guys shocked at that? Yeah.
I was sitting in Florida watching it. Everyone else was in the hot tub, and I was sitting on the couch watching the draft, and I was like,
loser. Just kidding.
All right.
Fair.
Because it was just like, he was supposed to go 7 or 8. I mean, I don't think I'd like to have Wisnauskas on any team, but it just didn't make any sense. I mean, you saw, some people might have saw in the PLL Discord, I said just what in all caps about 19 times because I just could not believe it.
Yeah.
Well, we were all hoping he was going to fall to 7, but I mean, Chris Gray, I would have said 95% Chris Gray goes. If it's anybody else, it's probably going to be Matt Moore. And so it was bizarre that it was Wisnauskas 1, so obviously the Whips aren't going to draft him. Right. Chris Gray goes 2, which makes all the sense in the world, and I think Rubior had the best. What a great draft he had. But
he had the best. Best draft. By the way, like, going into that, just kind of touching on Rubior, he had 6 picks in that draft and ended up with 4 picks because he absolutely fleeced the Cannons and got their first round pick for next season. With a league that only has 8 teams in it, you guaranteeing yourself a top 8 pick in the draft for next season by trading down. Like, it's just unbelievable draft by Atlas. They're gonna be scary next season.
Honestly, I'm seeing shades of, maybe not quite to the same degree, but similar to like the Archers, where they're kind of built around smaller, quicker, shiftier guys that move the ball really well. A lot of really high-skilled passers, a lot of very creative finishers, and Teat and Gray I mean, that's as shifty and creative as a duo as you're going to find. You've got the righty and you've got the lefty.
And then you have Costa initiating from the midfield.
That offense
is
is
ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Gross.
That guy's nuts. Redwoods taking a Notre Dame defenseman. Don't care. Matt Moore.
Arden Cohen is a good player. I don't want to sleep on him. And the Redwoods needed help on D, and they got what they needed. Arden Cohen is a stud, and
I know
that's a great pick for them, especially a Notre Dame guy who, we all know Redwoods love Notre Dame, but they also, other Notre Dame players on that team, they're going to be speaking that kind of same language. So.
Right. I just like to slander the Redwoods at any given moment. So, Archer's getting Matt Moore just makes that.
That was another shocker to me that he ended up falling to 4. I mean, he's such a phenomenal player.
Yeah, and he's going to be running out of the midfield for them, and just makes that offense even more scary. So
scary.
That kid's so versatile. He can do it all. Number 5 actually was one of my favorite picks of the draft. Atlas getting Kobe Smith, just with the PLL style of play and the shortened field. He's LSM out of Towson that was just absolutely lethal in the transition game, and if you give him the PLL size field, he can be like a Mike Earhart for those guys. So love that pick.
I see him dropping a lot of 2 bombs. I think he can get that done. He's going to score some goals.
Yeah, and it's just like Atlas has 2 picks in the first round this year, and now they have 2 picks next year. So they're building for the future over there. We're not worried. Chaos getting kind of bolstering their defense a little bit, getting Brett Kennedy, who I thought was kind of like the second best defenseman in the draft under Arden. And then, your Whipsnakes, baby, getting Roman Puglisi.
Pugman.
Pugman. So I was really happy with that pick. Stags always seems to just draft what we need. He doesn't go for, the sexy pick of, getting, the number 2 attackman or 3 attackman available at the position. He gets exactly what we need. Right, exactly. Yeah. And, I know he takes his players into account and talks to them and asks them about guys, and I'm not surprised to see the best short stick defensive midi in the draft, and also coincidentally a Maryland guy, so the Terp Snakes continue to kind of
continues
keep that lineage going. Leo, what do you think of that pick?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I know people always say like the Whipsnakes only have Maryland players, but it's usually a pretty good game plan when Maryland isn't even close to the second place team in college. If you're drafting out of Maryland, especially this year, you're going to get a good guy. And I mean, to me, it was a little interesting because we are getting Warner back. So, but that is a spot that we tried to put Chris Hogan out there last season, which was brutal. So that was a hole in the roster, and we definitely filled that hole.
Well, dude, I think it also allows Bernhardt to be more of that 2-way midfielder that he's used to being, because last year he took on, such a big, defensive load that it kind of like takes a little bit of that off his back, and he's able to, initiate more in transition and really kind of be that 2-way midfielder. Because, I mean, if you get Bernhardt dodging on an O-midi, that's a mismatch all day.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then last pick in the first round, Zach Geddes is short stick defensive midi out of Georgetown, the Chaos selected. So that kind of rounds out the first round. It kind of bolsters that defense a little bit more, maybe takes a little bit of pressure off of Blaze, which, which was needed. He made a lot of saves and kind of stood on his head in that last championship game. So now kind of just moving on to, Whipsnakes exclusive picks in the second round. We took Wheaton Jacobois, which that kind of it's kind of funny because we drafted him from the Redwoods feeder program, but I'm excited to have him nonetheless. So
I think that the Whips draft can be summed up in one word, and that's transition.
Yeah.
I thought there were 2 kind of glaring holes that we have. I think one of them is covered. The other will have to wait and see. So the 2 main holes were our slide release recovery was not as tight as it had been in the past. We saw that in the championship game. And I think that it's not directly fixed because that comes from communication, but the fact that D-Mitty was a kind of a hole for us last year, and now we have Ty Warner and Pugman, we're not going to have to slide very much. And so that's kind of where they plug that hole is this is a league where teams that can push transition are rewarded. The shorter field, the shorter shot clock, it's not that big of a roster. And so I think that, you need guys that can really fill the two-way spots. And I really think, we drafted guys that at first glance, I was kind of wondering what the kind of justification was for picking a guy like Keegan Khan, for picking I actually really like the Colin Hitton pick in the last round from Jacksonville, because he's a kid that can push transition as well.
Right.
And he'll be in maybe a little bit in the rotation for the defense, but I could also see him take a couple LSM runs. And then the other pick that at first, Jacobois, and then why am I blanking on Jackson Reed? Jackson Reed, who's a lefty Canadian, attackman. And I'm looking at Khan and I'm looking at Jackson Reed. I think Jackson Reed kind of run a little bit more midfield, but or did run a little bit more midfield. But I see is a defenseman that can push transition. D-Middies, which Ty Warner, is a storyline. In and of itself, which is getting another, lockdown D-Middy in. And so now we have two really good lockdown D-Middies. Wheaton Jacobois can run the D-Middy spot. Bernhardt can run the D-Middy spot. And these are guys that all these guys are going to push transition. And what I see is a carousel where we're going to push transition hard and guys are going to go in, and I think they want to pick up the pace, because last year we kind of turned into a lot of iso ball. And that kind of gets to the second point that I was trying to make, which is the second hole that we needed to fill is we were dead last in the league in assists, and we were dead last in shooting percentage. And those two stats, in my opinion, are tied together. That when you try to iso ball, you end up with lower position or lower percentage shots because you're drawing slide and you're trying to score through it. Or you're trying to score where you haven't drawn a slide, which is not a high percentage shot anyway. And so I think they're going to try to pick up the pace. And I think the transition game hopefully should lead to more transition opportunity or more assisted opportunities and higher percentage opportunities. And so, I guess my question is, in the settled offense game, what have we done? We were all talking about, can we get Nakai Montgomery? Right. And, he's such a high lacrosse IQ, such a skilled passer, such an unselfish player, but also it's kind of, he's a tremendous athlete as a guy that, may or may not end up taking this summer going to the NFL. The 4-4-40 guy, which he can draw slide and has the vision and the want to move the ball, because he is an unselfish player, and I love that about him.
Absolutely.
And he was the guy that I was really hoping we would get, but we also don't know if he's going to play. So that was kind of what we need, is we need guys that can draw and move it. And that, to me, that's still the big question mark moving forward, is do we have the initiators? And I think Colin Kirst is my we didn't see as much out of him last season in his rookie year as I kind of was hoping for. And, I'm hoping that he put in the work. The Kirst family is obviously, royalty at this point in lacrosse. And, I'd like to see what he can do. I'd like to see, that's the big question for me is, can we draw and move it? Can we find assisted goals and higher percentage shots?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I think, some of the attackman picks, in the later end almost kind of seems like insurance for me, especially with, getting a lefty Canadian who could, God forbid Rambo miss any games this season. We kind of got in some trouble last year not having, a strong, lefty presence on that wing. So I think maybe that could have been, a play or a thought by Coach Staggs when he made that choice. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely I definitely think it's more of like that backup because we saw when Rambo went out last year, the Whipsnakes did not play nearly as well. And I think that he is definitely like the quarterback. He needs the ball. Him having the ball is always a good thing, especially because all the defensemen are going to need to play Rambo because not one defenseman can guard him. And that helps Zed get open for his shots. And I thought that with the low assist and low shooting percentage, I feel like I saw last year Zed was trying to do too much by himself, a lot of hero ball where he's like, I have the ball, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I can try to shoot. But the defense in the PLL is too good and the goalies are too good for those to work. It worked in the championship series. It didn't work last year. So I do think that having that backup just in case one of those three guys goes out, we have someone to, fill the spot. It's not going to be as good, but they're going to be what we need to keep our game plan going.
It makes me think about what is Justin Gutterding's role going to be this year, because he's also a lefty attackman who, I mean, obviously is a high lacrosse IQ guy, and I don't know if I would call him the quarterback, but he certainly can be. He's like I said, high lacrosse IQ guy. Maybe not as dominant in terms of needing the ball in his stick, but I wonder where we're going to slot in both Jackson Reed and Justin Gutterding. As I'm assuming, it's not like Matt Rambo, rolled his ankle or has knee problems or something like that. He broke his thumb taking a check. And so it's not like that's kind of a fluke thing as opposed to a guy who has persistent knee issues or a guy who has persistent back issues. Like, it's not like that. So I see Rambo being healthy, and it'll be interesting to see where Gutterding and Jackson Reed kind of fit into to how we're going to do it. Like I said, I think it's going to be high pace. I think it's going to be like we're going to try to push a lot. I think there's going to, the idea is to keep the pace really high and go through the entire bench. Like, I don't want to see a lot of guys on the bench not playing. If you're on the roster, let's get it moving. Like, let's push, let's attack.
Definitely.
Yeah, it makes me think that I just was kind of questioning earlier is like, is Gutty on the Whipsnakes roster at the end of the season? Because we did trade him for half-eaten bag of Pop-Tarts last season, and I was just thinking like maybe we use that as if he's not getting used as much as we think, that is still going to be great trade capital that we could get something that we're missing or draft picks or something, because I think we have so many like insane attackmen right now. Does Gutterding have a spot that's going to be worth his value?
Yes, right. No, 100%. I think Stags will sort of leverage our, group of attackmen similarly to how we did it last season with, Tierney, because Tierney's not, on the Whips anymore. So I think, they could run Jay Carlson, Gutty, either of them out of the midfield and have them as that sort of crease midfielder position and be super successful in that. Or you can have Gutty be, a quarterback at X and have, Zed on one wing and Rambo on the other. I mean,
I kind of like that look, but it's to me, you got to keep Jay Carlson on the field because he's just
right,
so
which is what I'm saying. Like, keep him on the crease. Right. He catches everything. He finishes everything, and he's so creative when he does catch the ball. It's very hard for goalies to read. Lastly, we kind of bolstered our defense, picked up Colin Hinton out of Jacksonville, which is sweet. I love
his game.
I love that we I think we're the first pro team to draft a player from Jacksonville, I think, ever. Right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Let's go ahead and not fact check that and just assume that it's the truth.
Absolutely.
So awesome. Anyways, great draft. I thought we got everything that we needed. Besides, I would have liked a midfielder who can initiate like Nakai Montgomery. That was like the only guy that I wish we kind of would have drafted, and the Woods picked him up one pick before us. So I'm thinking, if he's still there in the third round, I think Stags picks him up maybe. But anyways,
we had our opportunities to get him. If Stagnita really prioritized that I think we would have picked him up. But
Yeah.
I could see Jacoboyce filling in that role as well.
Yeah. And we still have Brad Smith, you know, the mustache magician, just out there doing his thing, and we signed him. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm really optimistic about the season. I like our team. All right, moving on. Tale of two takes. Leo, I'm putting you on the spot. Give us your take on anything, and Max and I will react accordingly.
Yeah, shoot. I guess I'll just go with the easy one right now. Steak is by nature an awful meal. It's boring. There's nothing great about it, and it's like, you know, there's just nothing great about it.
So first of all, you can just go ahead and light your Midwest card on fire. Like, how dare you? How dare you? What that tells me is, one, you haven't had a good steak. Like, first of all,
Yes.
you're wrong, right? It's not. This isn't. And look, like, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or something like that, 100% would respect that decision. But you're not.
I am not.
Not at all. And the thing
it's just
is,
a terrible opinion.
It is 100%. And dude, the Michelin star restaurants have steak on nearly every single one of their menus, in some variation or another, because there's so much versatility with a steak and how you cook it. It complements seafood so well. And do you like seafood, Leo?
I've never eaten a piece of fish.
So let's just add that to the list of shit takes coming from Leo. So never had a piece of fish, doesn't like steak. He's wrong. I don't think anyone needs to say anything more on that subject.
Okay, it's always like the most expensive thing on the menu. You're paying minimum $20 for it, and when you think about it, you're paying $20 for just an 8-ounce, 10-ounce, 12-ounce piece of meat, and that's it. Like maybe some green beans next to it. I just think it's a way. Like, give me some cheese and some tomatoes and lettuce and buns. Make it a burger. Like, there's just so many more things you can do with that piece of meat. You're just gonna give it to me. I'm just gonna be good with that.
You know, here's what I would say. I don't eat a lot of beef. I really don't. For me, it's kind of a special occasion type thing for a whole bunch of reasons. But maybe if you ate a little bit more red meat, you know, I know you work out like 5 days a week. You might actually see some gains, because I'm not, you know, I see the Tarps Off Friday pictures, and I'm shocked. I mean, you know, the amino acid complex in red meat is far superior to, I'm assuming you're eating chicken nuggets, like dinosaur chicken nuggets. That's what I'm assuming Leo eats like 3 times a day.
Don't disrespect the dino nuggets.
Look, I was in college too.
Friday posts.
Okay, but again, if you want to find some gains, maybe eat a steak. And again, the more rare, the better. Medium rare, you know, I can handle somebody order medium. Anything past that is blasphemy. I like, you and I are not going to see eye to eye.
So Max,
liking steak in general is like, it's just un-American.
Well, no, he's committed the most crucial cardinal sin of all, according to Leo. Leo, do you know where I'm going with this?
I refuse to eat any beef with pink in it.
So let me give you a circumstance, Leo. So your favorite player in the PLL is Matt Rambo. Am I correct in that? Okay, great.
Yeah,
when Matt came on the pod, we had a lengthy discussion on how to cook the perfect steak, I believe it was. Yeah,
yep.
It was. That's right. It was the perfect steak. And how would you feel if you completely disrespected your hero's favorite food? Like, would that change your mind? If Chef Rambo cooked you up a steak, like, what would your reaction be?
How much of it would you get down? Like, that's my question.
If Rambo cooked it, I mean the whole steak. I don't care.
Okay, all right. I don't care.
If I'm at a restaurant and I'm paying $30 for it, no shot. If Alex cooked it for me, probably I'll take like a bite to be polite. You're not Rambo. Rambo could. If he's making me a steak, I'm eating the steak. That's very simple. Will I enjoy it? Maybe, maybe not.
All right. Well, hey,
it is
you know,
meat.
I think we found some common ground in this, thus concluding Tale of Two Takes. Leo would eat steak if Chef Rambo prepared it, which, you know, he does a great job in the kitchen, so I would assume he'd do a real nice job with that. Now, for you guys tuning in on video, we have a special segment that we're going to start to add called, don't have a great name for it, but we're going to do a tier list. Just gonna leave it at that. So we're doing a tier list. The tier list is create a PLL, or it's the PLL Jerseys tier list is what it is. So we're gonna go through the list of PLL jerseys from 2020, 2019, and the newest round of jerseys, and just kind of select our favorite ones. Guys, if you want to just open up that link, and then we can kind of go over the list together. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the whole thing in the video. Okay, that looks good.
Yeah, so I created the tier list, and I put in every jersey that has been worn in a PLL game. And there's been minor changes throughout some of them. Like, you'll see the Atlas jerseys, there's only home and away because they haven't really done many major changes. Where the Chrome have 6 in there because they change it every year because they maybe just can't seem to get it right. But if there were very minor changes, there was nothing new in there. I didn't add it, but it was more of like the big changes.
Okay, so if you guys are listening on Spotify or whatever, you know, audio platform you're on, be sure to check us out on YouTube so you can watch this part. The first jersey on the list is the Cannons jersey in the Navy from last season. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'd like to put this one in B tier. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think it belongs kind of smack dab in the middle, is kind of where I would put that. It's not offensive. I'm not a fan of the smoke on the bottom. I would be more of a fan if the smoke led to like smoke colored or textured shorts, kind of like the Chrome did with their white jerseys from last season. But where they're at now, I'm putting it at B tier. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly where I had it too. Same thing. It's there's nothing to hate about the jersey. There's nothing to really love about it. I think we'll get to this, but I think the smoke looks way better on the white jersey. It's a little too harsh on this one.
Yeah, you know what? I changed it. I'm putting it at C. I think it's average. It's not offensive, so I wouldn't put it, in D. But it's not good, I don't think, so I wouldn't put it in B because I think the white is good. So I'm gonna put it at C.
I agree.
Now, the orange Archer jersey. I have been lobbying for the Archers to have an orange jersey since the PLL started. I did what do they call it? A color rush feature with Pro Lacrosse Talk, where I designed a color rush jersey for all, at the time, 6 clubs, and I had Archers in an all orange jersey, and I thought it looked super cool. So I'm just happy that they decided to implement it. I love it. I think it's their best jersey out of all of them, and I would put that in high B, low A. Where do you guys think this one goes?
I can't personally put it anywhere above a B, just because I keep going back. I love navy and orange together. When navy's the primary color, the orange ones are so bright on the field. I like them. I don't dislike them, but they're kind of like the Cannons ones to me, where they're good, but they're good,
I like it. I'm a big orange fan. I'm a diehard San Francisco Giants fan, and so for me, having a big orange, the Giants do Orange Fridays, they do Black Fridays, but they have this year their City Connect jersey is orange and white. So I'm a big fan of the orange. It kind of looks like a Mets jersey, if I'm being totally honest. But I don't mind it. I think it's a cool looking jersey. Yeah, it's clean. I'd probably put it where Alex did, like a high B, low A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm
I'm gonna
ranking
put it.
that.
I'm gonna put it at A. I think it's their best jersey that they've ever had. I think it's the best that they've had so
Sure.
far. I think
Yeah.
maybe they can do something else to the actual
Yeah.
jersey because it's so plain, and everyone else kind of has.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
the Whipsnakes have scales.
I like the logo. I really like their logo, and I like their
Yeah.
colors. You know,
Right.
but it's kind. You're right. It's kind of a boring jersey, whereas the rest of them have kind of like 3D graphics, so they do something that's just
They
like
do
a little bit
something.
more out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it kind of bottom A. Everything else would kind of go above it. Moving on to Chrome's. I think this is their first year jersey in 2019. It's the black chainmail. For those listening, I hate this jersey. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put it right in D. I think it's terrible. Not a huge fan. There's a reason that they got rid of that as soon as they possibly could.
Yeah.
That's going.
We'll get to one of their other jerseys later, but I think
that's
the
going
fact that this
D.
one was so bad, once they did that white one with the blue bottom and the pink cuffs on the sleeve, that was like, we'll get to there. For me, that's an automatic S. Like, I love that jersey.
Yeah, I think.
But part of it is it's so much better than the old one.
Absolutely.
I think if we see a chainmail, we can just automatically assume that's a D, bad. The only thing that's worse than chainmail is their white 2019 jersey. That was horrendous.
I've got that one 4 picks from now. So next one I have up is the Navy Archers jersey from this past season. It's the most boring jersey on this list. But it's not offensive.
Maybe the white Archers jersey.
Yeah, it's just not offensive though. Like it's just a clean Navy jersey. Yeah, it's a C. It's not as good as the Cannons jersey. I don't think the Cannons Navy one, especially if you put them next to each other. The Navy Cannons jersey just looks better. Okay, kind of moving on. The very first Atlas jersey from 2019.
The white or the blue?
The white is what I'm looking at right now. I think it's just not great. It's very plain. I think it was the first jersey with the league sponsor on it though, which is cool. But other than that,
I believe that was Redwoods and Progressive. I think Capital One was the second sponsor.
That was the second. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's okay.
It's a C to me. It's like you said, it's not offensive like the way I hate that first Chrome one, but it's all right. It's a clean jersey. It's got the bullhorns flaring out is kind of unique, and
I like that.
I think that was kind of like the PLL's first like take on how can we make our jerseys a little more unique is by having the jersey, like the logo is outside the logo, which I think is kind of cool.
Right.
Yep.
Next one I have is the light purple Water Dogs jersey, which I actually like. I like the Water Dogs colors. I think it probably deserves a B.
Oof.
Really? Disagree.
Full blown. I'm just gonna send this S tier.
No way.
Love it. I love it. I think that the graphic, the purple water, plus I'm an English Bulldog guy. And so I actually bought my dad one of these because he had an English Bulldog as well. So my dad has a Water Dogs.
Well, you know
shirt.
What? Yeah. Okay.
I think
I understand that.
And it's a cool jersey. I like this is their white one, and then they have like the dark purple one. I don't like the dark purple one as much as I like this one.
That's a great. I'm just gonna move the dark purple one now to B, and then I will inflate it to an A, but I'm not gonna put it in S tier.
I'm cool. It's not an S.
Because here's the deal. They have a total miss. Black is one of their colors, and they don't have a black and purple and white jersey. If they had a primary black jersey, oh my gosh, that would be an S tier for me.
That would be hard because they like that shimmery water thing on their jerseys, and it would be hard to put that on a black jersey.
You could have other.
I guess you could do something different.
Yeah, you could do something different. You could do like a fade or something.
How else are we gonna know that they're the Water Dogs though, and not the Dogs?
I don't know, like the wavy-esque logo where they can put the teardrop logo on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next one I have is the white Chrome jersey from 2019. I think this one's from.
That is the worst.
Or no,
lacrosse
it
jersey
is. Yeah.
maybe of all time.
Or wait, no,
other
this is
than-
this is the 2020. This is the 2021. The 2021 I would probably put in C, just below Atlas. It's the super plain looking
the
average.
white chainmail.
No, I don't think it's the white chainmail. Oh, is it the white chainmail?
The white one has chainmail on it. Yeah.
What
Oh,
year?
boy.
What year is the white with the motorcycle looking font with the?
That's 2019.
That's 2019. Okay, so yeah, so the 2020 season one, then I would put at C.
That is chainmail.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd put that at C. Now D, that's also a black chainmail, isn't it?
Yep.
With the pink Adidas. Yeah, that's going to D. I hate that jersey.
I like the fact that they added a little bit. I like the pink is a little shinier. It's a little bit shinier of uniform. I think it went in a better direction than the first black one.
Okay, I'll put it above. Yeah,
I've got it as a C because I don't hate it as much as the other one. But yeah, so far my only two Ds are both chrome jerseys.
yeah. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah.
And then another white plain jersey. That's
D.
the Archers.
D.
I mean,
That's D. That's
so boring. It's just boring. I love their
It is.
logo. It's such a cool name. It's such a cool logo. But it's just, you gotta give me something interesting.
okay, now this is where we're gonna get to some controversy. So the black, red, and red Chaos jerseys from this past season,
Yeah.
I hate them.
so good.
I-
so good.
Hate them. I think it's the
That's an
worst.
S-tier jersey.
No. And I'm gonna make some people mad. I'm gonna take the executive decision. I'm gonna put this at the worst jersey spot
Oh!
in the whole league. I hate it.
I'm gonna not pick sides. I'm gonna put them as a B. I'm gonna be right in the middle.
You could do that. You could do that.
I
This-
like the jersey. I do like the jersey, even if the chaos. I mean, I don't look. I understand that there's rivalries and all this stuff, but I don't want to say I hate any. I'm such a PLL
No. So here's the thing.
fan.
So,
Like I just love the PLL so much. I'm not the person that's gonna say I hate this team or I hate that because for me the PLL is the best league.
this is not about
Being in the
hating.
pros.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not about hating the
I just want to be
chaos.
clear about that.
I'm
yeah.
remaining consistent with my takes. When they revealed all the new jerseys, then I saw this black, and you'll see where I put the white Chaos jersey. Actually, no, you won't. Is it on here, Leo? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll see where I put the white one. The black to me looks horrible. I hate it.
I don't like it looking like hanging on like a hanger, but when they're wearing it, I think it looks better.
If I'm just judging this jersey right here and it's hanging on my wall and I'm looking at it, there's just no way I'm putting that thing on my body. There's just no way. So yeah, I don't like the design. I hate the two-tone look. I don't like it.
Take.
Yeah, it could be a bad take, and I'll probably catch some fades in the PLL Discord, but it is what it is. Okay, so the white Cannons jersey, big fan. I'm gonna put that in B. Higher than the Water Dogs dark purple B. I really like this white jersey. I think it looks really good on the field. And I mean, you just can't go wrong with that color scheme, and I think it just looks super clean.
I agree. B.
And I love the stripes on the arm sleeves. I think that's a really cool look. Like kind of like the wide angled blue and red stripes. I think it looks really clean. And then the Redwoods green jerseys from 2019. I like this jersey actually.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I love that the stripes are trees.
Yeah,
I think that's genius. I love that look, and I wish they would kind of go back to that. I'm gonna put this in A tier. I think
I agree.
I think it's just a really cool, classic looking jersey, and I love seeing the Redwoods guys with that jersey on when we beat them in 19 in Philly. It's a beautiful memory. So for that reason, that jersey's going in A tier. Color scheme's great. The one thing I do not get about the Redwoods is their logo is brown, white, and yellow. There's no green in their logo anywhere.
Right.
And even
Right.
like the Seahawks, they have one tiny piece of neon green in their entire logo, and it's the eye of the hawk. But it's on the logo, so they have like neon green jerseys, whatever.
Right,
It's fine.
right.
the Redwoods have no green on their logo, and half of their jerseys
All of their
are green.
jerseys are green.
All their jerseys are green. I did a
except
color,
the maroon one.
yeah, which they don't even have anymore. They don't even have it anymore.
Yeah, and that's the next one on the list. And I'll actually say I like the color scheme for the maroon one, but in my opinion,
Oh, I forgot to put the chrome down there.
it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't make sense in terms of like the color scheming. But I actually like the look of the maroon one. Of all the ones that are, I agree. I think the 2019 one where the stripes are the trees. That's the best looking jersey for sure.
Absolutely.
But of the ones that are just the straight stripes, I actually like the maroon and white one more than I like the other green ones.
Yeah.
I think the green on green, the dark green on light green, and then the green on white. To me, they kind of look like, I don't know, like a mid to lower tier European soccer jersey.
I would put it. So I would put their maroon and white jerseys just beneath Cannons in C, above Archer's navy, above Atlas white, and above Chrome white. I just really like the green one. I just don't understand why they don't have like a main brown colored jersey. Like I did a Color Rush swap thing for them, with them having a brown jersey. Oh, dude, it looks so clean. And I hate that I'm, crediting the Redwoods with anything, but it does look really good. So I'd like to see like a brown jersey or a yellow jersey, like maybe go full,
That's risky. That's a risky play.
No.
But a while back, there was a video that I watched. It was one of the vlogs, I think, that RJ did. And I saw a yellow helmet that was like a Redwoods helmet that he kind of like kicked to the side just as a joke. Maybe it was like a concept for like maybe they were thinking about giving him a yellow helmet. But I think a yellow jersey would be sweet if they did it right. But, I mean, the PLL generally does a really good job designing their jerseys. So, anyway.
Yep.
Next one I have is the black chrome from this past year, so it has that fade. The fade to me just doesn't really work as well as the white does, because it fades from black to white, not black to teal. So it's just kind of, or black to whatever chrome blue is. What are your thoughts on where to put this black jersey? Because I do like it. It's a lot better than their last two black jerseys, and I like the blue sleeves. The numbers and the stripes all have that nice blue. I would probably put it like just below the Redwoods maroon for me in terms of...
I've got it as like a high B. I like it a lot. It's not quite A tier to me, but it's a good jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I own. Have you guys seen this one in person?
I don't think so.
Yes.
It is way, way better in person than in pictures, because the way they did the fade with the V lines, it looks really nice, and the gray to black fade.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
It does have... Okay, you know what? I'm going to change my mind then. I'm going to put it bottom of B.
So it's not a straight gradient. It is those lines.
Right, right.
So it looks really nice in person, especially with the blue and the pink against the black. It really pops. So I have this one as like a high B, low A.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with them being low B. Now, next one on my list is the 2019 white Chaos jerseys, which, dude, this is going to shock some people, but I'm going to put this one above the Cannons in B for the best, like, B tier jersey. In my opinion, I love it.
This is the one with just the red Chaos.
So it has just the red Chaos, but then it has like an off-white like pattern that's like
I like
super
that one
subtle.
too.
Oh, it's so clean.
Yeah.
It's
I like
so
that
good.
one too. I would put that probably as a high B as well.
Yeah,
that is horrendous.
It's a cool. I mean, I think the font on it is cool.
Yeah,
and there's ways that you can have
super cool font,
subtle jersey that still pops, and I think this one accomplishes.
Yeah, they have that with their current white one. This one's boring.
The current white one with the scorpion on it.
I'll go with it. So the next one I have is the jersey in question, the white Chaos from this past season, and I'm gonna put that at the bottom of A tier. I really like.
Oh no.
I really like this jersey a lot. I think it has a lot of cool detail in it. I don't know.
Bottom of C for me. It's not quite a D. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's just like it's a little busy for me. I like the Chaos, graphic.
It's subtle. But it's off-white.
I think
the
that
detail is off-white.
but they put like 3 or 4 colors just in the word chaos, and it's just too much for me. It's such a simple color scheme, but it's busy. It's busy to me.
I think it would be improved if they took off the scorpion and just had the red chaos like they did in
Sure.
2019, but
I agree.
keep that same. You can give it like a black outline or something to like maybe make it pop a little bit more, but for me it's still their best jersey that they have. Now we have the black chaos jersey from 19. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. I like it. I think it looks clean because it still has that like clean logo and it doesn't have the obnoxious scorpion on it. It'd probably be bottom of C for me.
Yeah, that's where I've got to.
Yeah. All right. And we have our very first S tier jersey. It's the chrome jersey from the 2021 season. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
absolutely
unbelievable.
Good.
So
Unbelievable
good. My wife,
jersey. It's
my,
so good.
my wife probably watched. She probably watched maybe a quarter of the games this year.
Right.
And when she saw those, she was like, "Those are really good." Like she doesn't have an opinion really on the jerseys, but when she saw that one, she was like, "That's really cool." Like
Yes.
that would probably be the first non-Whips jersey that I would buy.
Yeah, I am planning to buy that one at some point with Heacock on it. That is just such a good jersey.
Fair.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a really, really good jersey. The only thing that I would change on it is I'm just not a fan of the Chrome's like full logo with like the triangle above the letter and having the words so low on the jersey.
Sure.
Just not a big fan of it. Like I'd much rather just have like the triangle with the helmet. They have never done a jersey like that. They've only had the helmet, but they haven't done like the triangle with the helmet. I think that would be just super clean. And maybe have like chrome like on the back or something like, but that's the only improvement I would make to that jersey. I think it's really good. Okay, now we have our first Whipsnakes jersey. It's the red from this last season. I really like this red jersey. The thing that I really loved about it was they improved upon the last red jersey and put like a teal stripe on the sleeve, which I really liked. And also added the 3 stripe on the shoulders there as well. I really like this jersey. I'm going to put it probably top of A, just better than the orange Archer jersey for me. And then we all know where the teal Whipsnake jersey goes, right to the top, right to the S tier.
Right to the top. Yeah, that's S tier.
To me, that's the best jersey in the PLL period. I think it's super creative to have the scales. The red and the teal are just such a cool color, and it's so unique. You know, there are not a lot of teams in professional or college or high school sports that have that red and teal color scheme. So super cool. Love it.
Great jersey. Yeah, I think that the easy number 1 and number 2, that's really the only arguments you could make is it the chrome with the pink sleeve or is it the teal with the red sleeve? That's 1A and 1B, and then everything else we're talking about who's finishing third.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I'm trying to think of things I would change about it. Maybe I would fade the scales a little bit so they're not as heavy, and maybe
the contrast is a lot.
It's a lot because there's no scales on the sleeves like there was in the past. With the red, it's not as apparent because red's kind of a darker color than that teal, and so are the scales. But the scales definitely show up. But in person, that jersey is just phenomenal. It looks amazing.
That's so good.
Okay, and now we have the most recent Redwoods jerseys, the soccer jerseys. I hate both of them. I think they're both
bad.
So boring. They were so creative with their green jerseys from 19. Yeah. I just hate them. I'm gonna put them in like the top of D because they're not as bad as like some of these other ones.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say high D, low C. Yeah. I'll put the green on green in low C and the green and white in high D because I just think of like you're watching like ESPN the Ocho and there's like some team in some town in England you've never heard of that has like 3,000 people in the stands, and like that's what I think that jersey looks like.
Yep. 100%. Next I have is the white Whipsnakes jersey from, I assume, both 2020 and 2019 seasons. This one looks like the 2020 because I can kind of see the championship emblem in the back there. But
the only difference between these is the Adidas stripes were green, then they were red.
Right.
And that is the only change.
Okay. Is it okay? Same logo and everything. They didn't go with the logo without the word mark.
No, the icon logo has always been on the red jersey. The word mark logo has always been on the other one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think the contrast for this one, I like the jersey. I have it in a kind of a mid-tier B. I think the contrast between the green and red on the Whipsnakes logo it's not enough of a contrast. So the two colors, it's weird to say that red and green kind of bleed into each other, but they do. Like, as I'm looking at these kind of thumbnail size pictures, it's hard to read that, what it actually says. I think the contrast could have been a little bit different. But again, I like the style of it. I like the 3 stripes on the shoulders.
Well, dude, and the scales, like the subtle off-white scales,
the subtle
look so
off-white
good.
scales
They
are
look
really
so good.
But the lack of the poor contrast on the actual logo itself, it makes it hard to read, and so that's why I would probably put it in an A. But because of that, I dropped it down to a B.
Yeah, to me, I have it as literally a fringe A jersey. It's the top of B. Kind of putting it past that white Chaos jersey. I think it looks really good. Next, I think this is the latest Atlas blue jersey, right, Leo?
I like this one.
I like this one a lot. I think this one kind of goes. This is probably. It's an A tier, and it's second only to the Whips red jersey from last year. I really like that Atlas blue.
Yeah,
it's a really good looking jersey. I don't have too many things to say about it. The only, I guess, critique I have is kind of the same critique I have about their Archers jersey from last season. Is there's nothing unique about, like, they don't have any unique patterns, fades, anything. It's just, it's a cool color. That's its saving grace. That Carolina blue.
Yeah. Blue. It has a pattern.
There is a pattern in it?
Yeah, there's on the white and the red, the blue. There's both like a topographical matte pattern. How they like the lines show the.
I'm gonna. Oh wait, I was gonna say, can I old man this and just stick my face right in front of the screen, or should I just act? Should I blow this up?
Really nice patterns. There's a topographical kind of a matte style pattern on there.
Then
what? Okay.
It's really
hard to see though. It's very subtle though, So maybe that moves up a little bit if you can actually see it.
Well, it still puts it above the Archer's orange, so I'm not moving it where it is.
Yeah. I've got low A, but it's a nice jersey. For sure.
Last I have is the red Whips jersey from 2019, which I think is our weakest jersey. It's just very plain, like without the scales. I love the logo. However, I love that logo is so.
Well, I think
cool.
they tried to put scales on it, but it's a little flatter. It's not as unique of a pattern. I mean, there's still kind of that shimmer. I think they had the right idea. I just don't think it was executed. The red one from last year is, that's the evolution, right?
Right.
You're right. It's a little, and it doesn't say Whipsnakes, and especially early in a league's, history, nobody's gonna look at that and go, oh, it's a Whipsnake. They're just like, all right, snakes chasing a ball or something. Like, I would have preferred it to say Whipsnakes. Like once you get into third, fourth, fifth, whatever seasons, then you can kind of drop the wording a little bit. But for the first couple of years, like, you want people to know who you're rooting for.
Right. It's like you can kind of tell how old, a Nike shirt is if they still have the Nike word mark or if it's just a swoosh. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Last one I have, it's just this red Whips jersey. I'm gonna put it probably like just below like the white Boston Cannons, or not Boston, I'm sorry, Chaos Lacrosse or Cannons Lacrosse Club jersey. It's a little bit better than the dark blue Water Dogs jersey for me, but it's not as good as the white Chaos or the white Cannons jersey. So anyways, this is the final list that I have, and I'll share this on on something, or at least the link to this video so that you guys can watch it. But I thought the list went well. I only have 2 jerseys in S tier, which is appropriate because if something is S tier, it needs to earn it. So
I had 3. I like that light water dogs one, but I'm a homer for that. Like, I'm not gonna act like I'm unbiased. I'm biased for that.
Right. So I think largely we're aligned. I think the one thing that I might get dragged on is putting that red Chaos jersey so low, but I hate it. I just
You
think
will. By me.
that's fine. I can take that. Anyway, let's see if I had anything else to talk about. Okay, yeah, week 1. Speaking of Chaos, week 1, we're playing Chaos. Our game got moved off of ESPN because the Chaos is missing half their roster, so we're going to be playing a replacement squad.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to absolutely roll them. I think if you combine the factors of, we lost to them in the championship last season, and they have a very limited roster coming into week 1 because, we got guys still playing in the NLL playoffs. I think we roll Chaos. Official prediction, 18-7.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not going that decisive. My official prediction, I believe it was, I think I said 11-7. The Whipsnakes always like to make us fans feel very nervous about the whole game, so I feel like they're going to make it way closer than it should be.
Yeah, I don't know if the offense is going to be dialed in enough to score 19 goals, because I think a lot of the Chaos, 18 goals. I think the Chaos defense is going to show up, but I think that there's going to be, I do think that it'll be a lopsided win. Obviously, I would like to see these two teams in week 1, at full strength. It would be fun to watch that, because I actually think, it's weird because the Chaos always kind of start out slow and then they get better over the course of the season, which is not what I expect from them as a box style, kind of free flow offense style team. You kind of expect that to work right out of the gate. Because a lot of these guys they played together and they played together for a couple of years now. You would think that they would be able to just, kind of maybe they have to work on their timing and all that stuff. But I've got the Whips winning probably, I'm going to say 14-5, because I think that an unorganized, like I said, the Chaos kind of start their seasons out a little unorganized, and they get better as the season tends to go on, and they're going to be missing a lot of guys. And I think that the reason why the early in the season, especially the Whips defense is going to be so good, is because we have fantastic one-on-one players, and that it's going to be tough to get past any of these guys, especially when they're going to be missing. There's people that, Dane Smith is he's been kind of best player in the NLL this year, and Josh Byrne, and you've got these guys that are creative and can draw slides, and they're not going to be there, and so it's going to be hard. This is going to be a smoke and mirrors game if Chaos really want to compete. They're going to need to have a lot of off-ball movement. They're going to need to have a lot of pick and two-man games. That's kind of the only way they're going to be able to initiate. I just don't see them being able to penetrate through.
Yeah, I'm changing my prediction.
Our first line of defense is a wall.
I'm going to change it. I'm going 13-6. That's going to be the
13-6. I'm saying 14-5. I'll say 14-5.
And here's my rationale behind it. I think 18 is pretty high, especially for a week 1 game. But here's my thought: is we played Chaos week 1 in 2019 and won 13-7, and then we beat them in the championship of 2020. 12-6. So I'm merging the two. And I'm taking the higher and the lower, and I'm going 13-6.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this PLL season in general. I think that this is, coming off of a relatively normal off season with a much more normal training camp they're going to have than they've obviously had the last 2 years. I think the PLL is poised, especially with the new ESPN deal. I mean, I really liked what they did on NBC. I thought it was interesting and it felt very professional. But ESPN is the worldwide leader in sports for a reason, and they get the college games, they get the NLL, and I just love the fact that all these people that have ESPN Plus are just going to be able to. It's so much easier not having to buy a different subscription. I already had ESPN Plus, and I've watched more NLL games this season than I ever have in my life. And I just this season I'm so excited to watch everything. Again, we have our favorites and our disfavorite, our least favorites, but what the hell are the cannons going to look like, right? How much fun is the Archers offense going to look like? The Atlas are had a good year last year, and we'll see how good can they be. And then the Water Dogs had the best regular season record last year. Where are they going to land too? I think there's a lot of interesting storylines. One storyline that I'm really looking forward to seeing, and I know that we're a Redwoods slander group, but Mitch Bartolo getting drafted to the Redwoods, and I think he's coming out of the midfield. And you're looking at Mitch Bartolo is 6'6", 240.
Yeah,
Sergio Perkovic is 6'3", 225, and Miles Jones is 6'4", 245 or whatever. That is, you're talking 700 pounds of midfield. And, those three guys, if all three of them are on the same midfield line, it's going to be hard to, it's going to be a lot of two bombs. It's going to be a lot of, you have to be ready to slide to all three of those guys. And I just think there's so many good storylines. A rebuilding Chrome team, I think, are going to be good. But losing Jordan Wolf hurts a lot. Hurts quite a bit. Every storyline, every team has good storylines, and I'm psyched on PLL. I love the PLL. It's such a great product, and I can't wait. Really, I can't wait. Bart Scott, can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I thought we'd be talking for like 30 minutes, and now it's an hour. So
full hour, yeah.
I think this makes like the longest podcast episode that we've had, which is due. We've been gone a while, and I know you guys have been asking like, oh, like where are you guys at? When are we gonna get a new episode? Here you go. I have no idea when I'm gonna edit/post this episode, so stay tuned. Might be tomorrow, Monday the 23rd. Might not. We'll see.
All right.
Shout out to my sister-in-law for getting me the tie-dye Whipsnakes shirt for my birthday. Thank you, Sammy.
That's a great looking shirt. For those listening, he just stood up and kind of showcased this new kind of PLL tie-dye shirt. Whipsnakes, of course. It looks pretty great. And I think Leo and I are both rocking the old rope hats. He's got showing the front, he's showing the back. So kind of get it on all angles. But anyway, hopefully we'll make these episodes more of a regular thing. Come the season starting, hopefully we get some awesome guests on and hear more takes from Leo.
For sure.
Not looking forward to that part.
Yeah, if you guys want to just shoot me some tweets on Twitter or add in the comments below questions for Leo that he can answer and give us his take on so that Max and I can dismantle it. That'd be great. Other than that,
at least he didn't say, "Oh, well, I can eat it with ketchup,"
Yeah, well, I would have kicked him out of the Zoom call at that point. So
yeah, that would have been it.
Yeah, I can't take that. So
too much. There's only a limit to how shitty of takes we can take from Leo.
That's right. All right, boys. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Well, there you have it, episode 13 in the books. I'm going to be trying to record more episodes more regularly for you guys, so if you guys have suggestions for future episodes, future guests that you guys want to see on the pod, definitely hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. If you're listening on Spotify, please, give us a rating, a review, and if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment, you guys know the drill by now. So until next time, see you guys.